to satisfy your cravings. Honestly speaking, it was a bit hard to sell.
First off, my boy, where you get clothes like this to fit you from, my boy? You know, it got this? I said, I know it looks hard. It looks hard. Not just the black, but the off-white too. That stuff. I know it's hard. Ironic, one of one. You can't get it. Now listen, best short action anime, 13 episodes or less. Now this is perfect for me. This is perfect for me. If you have watch my other videos, you know I can't really keep up with the anime like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a weeb, but I would say I'm half a weeb. W-E. You know what I'm saying? We. You know what I'm saying? So we finna check these out. Now listen, I've watched Demon Slayer. That is hard. Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan. I'm up now. I told you I'm gonna make sure I keep up. Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, My Hero. I'm catching up. Season 4, episode 21. English. Please. English. JoJo's Adventure. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. I'm here. Blue Exorcist. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Give me a round of applause. I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to watch. You know, I need some side hustles. That's what we finna watch. We finna see what's going on. Make sure you like the video. You don't gotta subscribe if you don't want to. Make sure y'all, you know what I'm saying, take care of y'all skin too, my boy. You know what I'm saying?
Ever wondered what you could watch in one weekend that would get your energy up and going? Something action-packed? Well, have no fear. VinnyTube is here. For today's list, we're going to be going over 10 of my recommendations for this sort of anime. Short, one-core gems that you may have overlooked somewhere along the way. You ready for some action? But hey, before we begin, let me ask you this question. The statement to say that the Japanese...
No, VinnyTube. No. Hey, I do want to, one day I do plan on going to Tokyo, Japan. You know, eat some of their food. Ichi ramen.
And fluff, it's time to get the ball rolling on some of the most hot-blooded and exciting action anime for you to binge. Right off the bat, something sticks out for Katanagatari. It's the art style that carries with itself a design choice that you don't see in anime every day. Set in Edo-era Japan, this show can be summed up as one of the possible precursors to the modern wuxia tales that you often see these days. It's an adventure show that's quite wordy and features some characters who excel in playing their roles. The episodic and very dialogue-focused nature of the show may not exactly be for everyone, but it certainly gives us something that was very different in its era, and I dare say still holds up to the modern day. But don't be fooled, however. When it comes to the action sequences, Katanagatari manages to excel thanks to its stylish flair and the interesting story and world that it builds through said episodes. It's not flawless, but Katanagatari is just that uniquely quirky show that takes you on an adventure that you won't forget.
I do have a question, right? So, I'm not like a high core anime person, right? So, like, in order to find these animes, like, how do y'all find them? Is it like, where do it come from? Because I know the source that I use, GoGo Anime, AniWatcher.com, it's just like anime just all in your face. So, like, how do y'all separate the lower class from the top tiers? Like, how do y'all go and find it? Because I know y'all not just going and clicking on every single anime. That's definitely not possible. Unless you just like those. My bad.
Let me pull up the credits for Sirius the Jaeger. PA Works? Something like this is definitely not the first thing that comes in my mind whenever I heard PA Works, but after watching it, I did enjoy it. As I mentioned earlier, vampire anime tend not to always be a kill the vampires fair like Seraph of the End, Karin, and the recently aired Vampire Diaries.
He tell you what. Like, that's stuff. Imagine you just walk in. No, I'm not gonna do that.
In no time are comedies. Vampire Night definitely isn't mainly about killing the vampires. Sirius the Jaeger falling into the category would set the viewer up for some expectations right off the bat. Overall, I think that it generally sticks to the tropes and story beats of such a title. You have the expected twists and all, but it just works. I find it plain but enjoyable and passable entertainment. It's probably boosted by the spectacular art quality, actually. PA Works does it again with its pedigree for visual production, beautifully packaging everything. An ambiance that feels quite unique for these let's kill vampires ensemble shows. Sirius the Jaeger's a pretty cool attempt by PA to branch out into the genre. Is it the best in their catalogue of memorable shows though? I don't think so, but it's still a pretty good popcorn show to binge over a weekend.
Okay, dang! look promising. Okay. Hellsing Ultimate. Okay. But he look like those. Show me some.
Next, we have another vampire anime, Hellsing Ultimate. Okay, forget what I said about Overlooked, as Hellsing Ultimate back in the days was one of the most popular action anime of them all. You got the violence, the brooding, stylish energy, and you got a rather complete and satisfying story that clocks in at 10 episodes of OVA goodness.
10?
Vampire animes are a dime a dozen, and they come in all sorts of genres. You have the more comedic ones, you have the dramatic romances, and you have the ones with a modern feel, but in terms of intensity and sheer edgy violence, few can come anywhere close to Hellsing Ultimate. It's a show that's aged rather well over a decade into its conclusion, and if you need something so stylishly hot-blooded, Hellsing Ultimate could be your pick this weekend.
Okay. Now I do want to say one thing, right? So, you know, I'm building a community. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't think it would be right if I watch the anime and y'all don't enjoy. You know what I'm saying? We can't talk about the same thing. So I just thought, why not let y'all pick the animes that I watch? Now listen. Thank you. I see all the comments that y'all put. Listen, thank you. But don't send me a 20 page list like this, cause I'm definitely not gonna watch it. Can we start with let's start with our top 5, top 10. You know what I'm saying? We can pick some from this video. You know what I'm saying? Just like a little list. Top 5, top 10. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it makes sense, right? Yeah. It could be like 5 animes. It don't gotta be from here specifically. You know what I'm saying? But just something we can watch. And then when I watch the next video, we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Community. You know what I'm saying? I told you, my boy. You know what I'm saying? My dog. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to it. But that's tough.
So how's this for a recent anime? Super Crooks is a show that relishes in its Western energy, which translates pretty well in anime format. It's got the whole heroes and villains set up down pat, and it's full of characters who are both lovable and a joy to follow. The enjoyment gets ramped up with how great the presentation was compared to my expectations. The voice acting is great, the art's perfect for the mood of the story, and the plot generally flows well and is easy to consume. It feels like watching one of those Hollywood blockbusters in the realm of, say, Kick-Ass, but in anime form. Some quick, wild fun to pass time over a weekend. If those things are to your liking, Super Crooks might be the show of decadence at first. I think mainly due to its premise. Monsters forcing people to bunker up in a dystopian setting. How many of those Attack on Titan-like shows have we had already? Luckily though, Decadence has a lot of good things going for it that sets itself apart from those shows with similar premises. First off, it's an original anime, so when watching, I had almost no expectations. The eventual plot twist did catch me off guard, and it was after then I realized how brilliant some of them were. It started off as a dystopian fight for a survival thing, but it made good use of its short 12-episode airtime to evolve the show into something way beyond that by the time everything's said and done. And at the end of it all, it's a sci-fi show that transcends the initial action genre and offers some cool philosophical insights. Decadence got overshadowed by the blockbusters and sequels it aired beside, but this is a true underrated gem that you just have to watch.
This man literally hid under a car when literally everything is taller than him. Like everything is just like these. You gonna get smushed, my boy. You can't be doing that.
At first glance, BNA looks like a superhero show with furries in an urban fantasy setting. After watching it, I'd say that it's got a lot underneath the surface, and it explores a lot of themes I didn't expect to get tackled. Political themes, sociological ones, conspiracies. It's got a lot more than it initially suggests, but we're not here primarily for those now, are we? We're here to have some action and some fights to get the energy going, and I'm pleased to say that BNA still has those elements in droves. It's rightfully fast-paced for a superpower mystery action, and it's exciting in the sheer potential of where the adventure can take you. It's also got that Trigger thing with revolting against the system as seen as Kill La Kill and Gurren Lagann, and while I'd say that those two did that aspect of the story better, BNA is no slouch either. Trigger rarely disappoints, and while BNA probably won't end up at the top of their greatest hits, it is a nice short show that's well worth your time.
I'm probably not gonna watch that.
Now, I've often talked about Vivy, and I still do. That's because in the realm of sci-fi, with a bit of those musical element backdrops, I widely consider it one of the best the anime industry has to offer, especially in the modern era. There's a lot to like about Vivy. The character development, the fluidity of the art and animation, the progression of the story, and of course, the fights. I often find it being compared to Tactopt, but let's face it, if you have time to go for either of the two, Vivy's probably the more complete show for most people. Vivy has some themes that strike hard with how the world is going now, and it's one of the very very few successful titles to drive home the themes regarding the dangers of technology. With a strong backdrop of real-world relevant theme, amazing sound direction, and fights that are nothing short of wild and awesome that you just automatically ignore some of the sequences that don't make sense, Vivi is a surefire hit that's perfect for you to binge. Oh, and before we continue, subscribe, like the video, and share the video with your friends. Your help would be really appreciated. And let's have a huge party when we hit that 1 million milestone. Let's go back to old school stuff with probably my era's poster child for edgy psychological titles. Made infamous for its gore and stuff that makes your heart pound for the wrong reasons, I'd say that Elfen Lied has managed to carve out quite the legacy for itself. It's quite the polarizing title by combining those off-putting aspects with an arguably strong story that couldn't have worked without them. It's got stuff in it like discrimination and humanity as themes, while putting everything against the hauntingly memorable soundtrack and atmosphere. Does the show have to go through the lengths of showcasing gore and nudity to achieve the effect? Probably not, but with the route it decided to go, I'd say that the anime team did a pretty damn good job at using those elements to prop up the feel of the show. An oldie, yet a goodie. Elfen Lied could be your show to watch.
Okay. This is hard.
I hope you haven't had enough of Heroes yet, because this right here is an awesome show. The premise starts out pretty simple once you've got the meat of it. Grandpa has been going through tough days, and as fate would have it, he gets turned into a half-machine, half-human hero. Getting granted powers renews his purpose in life. However, how does it all come together when he's set on a collision course with a similarly empowered sociopath? So the first thing that'll likely stick out to you is the uncommon protagonist. It's not too often we see an old man protagonist in anime, and overall, I really applaud Inuyashiki for its efforts to stick out. Despite the premise that I call simple and common, the show itself has some hidden depth for its viewers to uncover when it comes to themes regarding humanity and morality. Is it super unique? Well, not really, but you see the earnest effort there to connect with the viewers, especially with how the flow of the story goes. Don't let the plain premise dissuade you from watching this amazing title. Now we've reached the 10th entry, I'd like to recommend 91 Days. Several times I've talked about this title on those underappreciated or underrated show lists. How can I not when I see such an excellently crafted show lacking in the popularity department? The sentiments do still hold true, honestly speaking, and while revenge stories are dime a dozen in anime, it's rare to find anything with an ambiance quite like 91 Days. It probably is largely the Western classic literature style approach, but you really feel that this show is something special in the sea of revenge stories in anime. 91 Days is for me one of the best in pushing forth the narrative in a focused and consistent manner. It's quite easy for revenge stories to forget the revenge part after quite a while, but not for 91 Days. It's a crime thriller that manages to successfully hold the suspense and theme all the way through its run. It sets itself apart from the pack with how it shows off the unglamorous side of humanity and the dark recesses of the human heart. 91 Days is part of a niche genre, but this title is a gem that anyone with an appetite for historical suspense with a healthy dose of violence should watch. How's that for a list?
And that's gonna be it for this video. Now listen, once again, if you want me to, if you got some anime suggestions, just make a list of 5, a list of 10, and I'll go through them, see which one's the best, and we gonna get straight to it, we finna diversify with the channel. I'm gonna have my anime days, I'm gonna have my, some other, T up. But yeah, that's it. It's your boy, Ironic.